Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weapons Showcase, a little video series where we take a closer look at all the different weapons that are available in Splatoon 2. Now, to start off this little video series of ours, we're going to start with my favorite weapon in the game right now. What you see over here is the Zapper 85, becomes available at level 9, and its namesake and design comes from the NES Zapper peripheral, which was released in North America in 1985. When you equip this gun, you get the suction bombs, which are a great secondary weapon for having its large blast radius and the ability to stick them on a wall, as well as the ink armor special ability, which increases the tenacity and armor of everyone that is on your team as soon as you use it. Very, very useful to have. Now, the main selling point for this weapon, I find, is the high rate of fire that comes with it. The rate of fire is the exact same as the Splatter Shot Junior, but with an increased range. This is great for running around the map and spreading around the ink as fast as you can. And it's very good in tight corridor areas. If you can isolate any of your enemies, there's a good chance you can come out on top by trading shots with them. The nice thing about this gun as well, it excels a lot at pushing across the map. One thing that I like to do is just push really quickly, covering as much ground as I can, building up the ink armor special, popping the ink armor, and then taking out the first person I see, giving us a pretty early advantage in the game. The ink armor itself is quite easy to build up by virtue of the higher rate of fire afforded by this weapon, and this is able to, again, bolster your entire team's tenacity with little to no communication. So this kind of playstyle and this ability synergizes really well with the overall, confusion and lack of communication that you find in public matches. And again, the suction bombs have a fantastic blast radius, very useful, quite powerful, and great at displacing enemies, because as soon as they see that, they want to get out of there, so you can easily predict where they're going to be going next. And of course, the main thing about this weapon that they tell you inside of the shop even, the advice that the game itself gives you, is that it's great for just running around and then getting to places. Just so you guys know, the clothing that I am using for the footage that you are watching right now is clothing that increases my ink speed up, or running speed up. So that's something that I want to capitalize on, obviously. If I can spread ink everywhere at a very fast rate, that's something that I want to take advantage of. Now, the cons about this weapon is that the aerosol gun and the Dualies, one of the most common weapons that I've been finding lately, and I'm pretty sure you guys have found it as well, it is completely outsped and outdamaged by those, by far. And with similar ranges as well. The aerosol has slightly less range, but it's not that difficult for them to close the distance and then just outshoot you because of how fast that gun shoots. And yeah, the Dualies as well. The damage of this gun, again, the damage just comes from the high rate of fire, but it's not really that impressive. So if you find yourself surrounded by 3 guys, you're probably done. That's the thing, you push a lot with this gun, but you also have to take care not to overextend yourself. And I think that's kind of the thing about this gun, and why I'm glad I started off the Weapons Showcase series with this, is that one of the most important things to remember for this game, if you're new like me, is always be aware of where your teammates are. And if you feel the need to push forward, you have to make sure that there aren't people that are way behind you and they can't support you, or that you're suddenly surrounded by the opposite color of ink, and then you can't make a quick getaway or take advantage of your clothing. Another thing as well is that it's only single target damage, so again, surrounded by people, you're not going to make it out of that exchange alive unless you get lucky, really lucky, and you're able to swim away on time. But yeah, since it's single target damage, and you find yourself in a situation where you can get the enemy by surprise, or if they're distracted by an enemy, or distracted by one of your allies, then you'll be able to win that exchange easily. The problem is, though, is that it's very apparent, it's very obvious with this gun that if you manage to get someone by surprise, then yeah, you'll obviously come out on top. So really, to sum up, this is a very fun gun to play around with. Now, what I personally like to do, a very common tactic that I like to use with this gun, is to push across the map as fast as I can. Just push very far ahead of people before I would cover as much ground as I can. If I see that suddenly there are 2 people and then they see me, obviously go into squid form, run back to the middle, and that's where the fighting is going to be the most active. Now, hopefully most of them wouldn't have seen me at this point, but it's very random. Sometimes you'll have people that are very perceptive and they know where you are, even no matter how careful you are. But just be very careful and try to isolate the enemies one at a time. When you find out where they are one at a time, you can like pop off the ink armor if it's available, or otherwise you just just use the high rate of fire to your advantage. Get them one at a time. It's a very good setup, and I like the ink armor because, again, if you see that your team is about to engage in a team fight and you have it available, by all means, pop it off. The thing is, though, is that that is the ideal situation to do it in, but the thing about Splatoon's fast-paced nature is that there might be a chance that you might end up suddenly getting ambushed, and then it does take like a seconds before the ink armor kicks in, so it's not like you can pop it off and then suddenly be impervious and then win the exchange. So you do have to kind of activate it a second in advance. But when you do, though, it's a huge advantage for your team. And I think that would be the #1 priority. Since you have a high rate of fire and you're able to build it up as fast as possible, you can do that. So yeah, build it up as fast as possible, get your team that advantage as soon as you can. And if you see that all of your teammates are alive, then yeah, more power to you. But even if it's just the one, an advantage before you die, if you feel that that it's going to be your time soon, then that's something that you want to pay attention to. Otherwise, yeah, this is a very solid weapon all around. Great for solo players, for people like me that like to play the public matches. And it's a weapon that I would seriously recommend to a lot of people that are in a similar situation to me, where we're still relatively new to the game. It's really good for me, especially because I'm still quite unfamiliar with motion controls, as you might be apparent right now. But thing is, though, when it comes to aiming, and it comes to taking out enemies one at a time, again, these are the kinds of weapons that help you really focus on perceiving the map and becoming very aware of where your teammates are. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the first weapon showcase for the Zapper 85. Currently my favorite gun, and if you enjoy a fast-paced run and gun, swim everywhere playstyle, then this might be a gun you might want to consider. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.